Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first annual Small Business Runway Digital Summit of the year. I am so excited to have everybody here that is watching today. I'm your host, Gunama, and I'm the owner and the founder of Small Business Runway. It is really... Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Hey guys. Okay, so as usual with the live show, a bit of slight technical difficulties, but we're back. So I was in the process of introducing myself to everybody that doesn't know who I am. My name is Gunama and I am the owner and founder of Small Business Runway. My aim with the show and the business that I run is to basically put money and power in the hands of minority business owners. The best way that I have found to do this is through my business development agency, as well as then having these regular live events and eventually in-person events that we get to network, we get to feed off each other's energy, we get to really just engage and learn from people that have walked the path before us. So that is the aim with the show. And I hope you guys will really just enjoy and engage with me today. As I wait for my esteemed guests, I've got 5 of some of the amazing Black Diamonds of South Africa in the house today. They will be coming in and out of the live with me because I am going to interview one person at a time in a question and answer format. So please, if you've got any comments, if there's anything that you have missed, you need to make sure that you are just typing it for us in the comments. There will be somebody that will answer you guys live. But if you've got questions for my guests as well, please feel free to comment and interact with us. We want to make the summit a summit for you guys. So it's all about everybody. It's all about every entrepreneur, every small business owner that is out there trying to hustle, trying to get their something together. You're in business, you've got a small business or even a medium-sized business. There's definitely something of value that you can pick up from this conversation today. The first guest that I am going to be interviewing on this live is actually an amazing young lady called Lebel Lyon, but I'm literally going to introduce her right before her time that I've scheduled to talk to her, which is at about 20 past 10. So for the next 10 minutes, I just want to interact with you guys. Just let me know what questions you have, if you're feeling excited. In fact, firstly, drop the location where you are so we can just get a sense of where people are, where you're joining us from. Are you in the office? Are you at home? Are you at work? Are you in between meetings, in the car? All of that good stuff. Just drop it in the comments right now and let us know where you are joining from. Also, which province you're joining from, and even which country you are watching this from. We would love to you and welcome you if you are outside of the country as well. So everybody that is in here today, please also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. literally by just clicking the red button that says subscribe there on the live, we are going to, have loads more summits that we are going to broadcast for you guys. So just make sure that you are part of our community and click the notification bell as well, just to make sure that you know when we are going live or when we do have a video that is posted up. We generally post, new videos every single week. So if you are interested in catching up on all of the amazing guests that we've had before, you are more than welcome to do so right here on this platform. But for now, I see our guest for the day has joined us. So I am going to actually just give me 1 second, guys. Okay. I absolutely love live, shows, because this is real time when things are happening. We're not editing anything. We're not cutting anything. It literally is raw and unscripted. Okay, so our guest is here for today, and I would love to be able to introduce her. But again, I just want to remind everybody, if you do have questions, if there's anything that we speak about today that resonates with you, please just let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. As well as then make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you share this video, that we are live to as many people as possible. I'll literally have my guests back to back. The first guest for today is Lebel Lyon, and she is already here. So we're going to welcome her in the next minute or so. And then the next guest that we have at about 22:11, we are going to have Slebo Khomulife from THUD. And then straight after that, we are going to have Matsi Africa Holdings that is going to join us just at 11:10. From then, we are going to have a short break just for us to catch our breath, for you guys to obviously, I don't expect you to sit and watch the summit a whole 3 hours through. So we're just going to take a short break at about 20 to 12 and then come back at 12 exactly for our conversation with Billy Guy Bambe from Black Child It's Possible, for a 30-minute talk, as well as then wrap the day up with Sylvester Chauke, who's going to join us between 12:30 to 1 p.m. All right, amazing. So for everybody that is also joining us for the first time, I'm still waiting for you guys to obviously drop your location, where you are joining us from, which province, which country. We really, really love to know where our audience is coming from. Don't forget to do me a favor as well. Just share as much as possible, like, subscribe, and interact with us. Like I said, it's a conversation. So even my speakers, I briefed them nicely to say, I don't want to give them questions beforehand. I want us to have a really authentic conversation. And so you're also welcome to join the party with us and just join in and interact with us and make sure that we keep the conversation moving. Okay, so just before I introduce her, I just wanted to check, Lebu, are you here with us? Are you ready for our conversation? Hello. Okay. Hello. Oh no. Lebu, can you please just unmute yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
So sorry, before we start this live, okay, there we go. Okay, cool. My stand was moving a little bit. So I was trying to get it stable. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. That's fine. So I just want to quickly introduce you so that we can just jump straight into our conversation for today. I'm really, really excited about this. Yay. Okay, so I'm just gonna, there we go.
Great.
Alrighty, so everybody, my first speaker for the day is Lebel Lyon. She is the founder of Biopil SA. Lebel Lyon. People. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, people always get it wrong. Don't worry. It's people always get it wrong. It's people. Brands plus people. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Okay. So her name is Lebel Lyon from People SA. She is fondly known as the voice of marketing in South Africa. Her strengths are in nurturing and accelerating the growth of African businesses with marketing and digital tools that have seen her help over 80 SMEs. Pardon me for that. Lebel is a speaker, a marketing podcast host known as Lebel Lessons with Lyon. She's a social media strategist, and she was recently named 40 under 40 business elites. Lebel is literally revolutionizing marketing by sharing quirky tips and tools to help her audience grow their space of influence online. If there ever is a trailblazer who specializes in digital marketing, Lebel is definitely one to look out for. When you find her, be sure you know your story, because you might just be called into a family meeting. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Lebel Lyon.
Hi. Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Zina.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for agreeing. First of all, I just want to acknowledge you for just your humility in saying, listen, I'm going to have this conversation with her. I don't, we don't know each other well, but you just agreed. You said, fine, I'll have a conversation with her. And so I just want to take a moment to acknowledge you for that. I don't take your time or anything that happens today for granted. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. You're doing such amazing work with the Small Business Runway. So I felt like I couldn't miss this opportunity. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah. And I also just want to put a little bit of a disclaimer. I'm literally reading your bio and I'm so nervous at the same time. I don't know why. And this always happens to me. I'm fine for like ever. I'm okay. And then the moment when it comes and then I mumble and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope she doesn't mind. So just a little bit, I'm asking for a little bit of grace there. But let's get straight into it. Like you are this, so I've gone and just done a little bit of history about you. In fact, quite extensively, not just a little bit. And are you vendor?
Yes, I am. I'm a vendor girl, but I grew up in Joburg. And my mom's side of the family is Pedi, so a lot of them couldn't say Ribuani. And the Sotho version of Ribuani ke Lebogang. So that's where Lebel comes from. Yeah. I grew up being called Lebel because of that.
Because of that. Okay. So I mean, I've watched you talk and I've seen, just some content of yours online, and it's amazing the relatability that you have with your audience, right? And especially somewhere where you talk about your struggles, about being in the industry and people wanting to see a particular woman with a certain size, where people are more inclined to maybe do business, or they being a smaller size is more acceptable, so to speak, in the digital space and in the space that you were in. Like those odds, with everything that was stacked against you, because I do believe that you were a little bit weighty. So,
fat is not a bad word. It's okay to be fat.
It's okay to be fat. Okay. It's okay. So with all of that, what gave you the guts to say, I am going to do this business? I'm going to go into business despite what, whatever odds are stacked against me.
I can tell from your introduction to this question that you actually really did do a lot of extensive research, and I'm sure you came across Full Cream Figure, FCF, the movement that I used to run, and it was a plus size movement for people who don't know, because I really believe in body positivity. I think people should be able to exist as they please and not how people feel that they should. I think you're supposed to design your own life, and what you think is appropriate and beautiful should be okay for your life, and that's why I started that movement. And also I was a bigger person myself, and I think depending on where you're lying in terms of industry and your perception, I'm still really big now or I'm really small. It depends And that's the thing. The world is very superficial. And this is not a judgment. It's a statement. It's a real thing. The world is a superficial thing. The world is very visual as well. And that's why you find that when people look a certain way, or they speak a certain way, or, they're wearing makeup or their hair, that people are more attracted to their content or attracted to doing business with them, because the world is superficial. And the way that you look will say something to the person who wants to work with you or access an opportunity with you, or whatever the case may be. So I think for marketers especially, because I think people don't realize that marketers are nerds. Like, a lot of us are just nerds who just want to do what we do, and we really don't mind. Like, it's okay. We're just nerds. We want to do what we want to do, make the world a better place and move on. Most marketers aren't concerned about how they look or, appealing to people and pandering. That's not what we're about. And the funny thing is, that's what we teach, but it's not what we're about as individuals. Most marketers are nerds who look whatever crazy way, and we're okay with it. We're confident and okay with how we look. And for a lot of us, I think even with the content that I'm sharing, it's just showing them that, guys, we need to do the business of our craft. And the business of our craft is not about how good we are at what we do. It's also about taking our own advice. Like we say as marketers, you need to make your content attractive. You need to plug into people's perspectives and find a way to occupy space in their minds. And that comes with how you look. And I'm not saying everybody should lose weight or wear makeup. I'm just saying, understand the dynamics of the world and people's perceptions, and then play into that to the best of your abilities and make it work for you. If you're not prepared to put on makeup and do the hair, then find a way to sell your grungy look, or to sell your African natural look, whatever it may be. Find a way to sell it. I don't think enough marketers are selling themselves, and that's why I am Lebel Lyon in the way that I am, because I'm also trying to influence marketers in my industry and saying, guys, we're so amazing. Let's actually take our own advice, play into certain narratives, transform them, and make them what we want them to be. Let's also take advantage of how things are and make it better by actually taking our own advice. So for me, that's been the process. That's why you'll find so much about me online. That's why you see me looking the way that I do. That's why I speak the way that I do, because I'm trying to change that narrative of marketers can't be influential, but they can make people influential. And I completely disagree. I think we can be, and I think we should be, because we make the world a better place, and we do so much and people just don't understand it. So that's kind of where I am in terms of being Lebel Lyon. And I'm sorry, I diverted from the question that you asked me. So please, could you ask the question again?
No, so the question really was, what gave you the guts to actually start, just to go into the business, despite, whatever odds were stacked against you?
So I think that tying into what I said, I don't feel like those things were odds. As marketers, I think we learn to see challenges as opportunities. As cheesy as that might sound, I think that's what we do. And I think that's why we're so valuable to society. So I looked at the landscape and I said, this is how things are working. I want to change them, but how can I do that? And I plugged into certain challenges, and I found my own way to make them opportunities for myself, and so for me, I've really been enjoying the journey, because I haven't been looking at myself as a victim to the industry. I've been saying, no, I can take this challenge, turn it into an opportunity for myself, and become a thought leader in that space. So when people think about gender equality in marketing, they should think about me. When they think about paying women what they're worth, they should think about me. When they think about social media marketing or growing SMMEs in Africa, they should think about me. And how do I make them do that when they were never doing that before? How do I make them see African women when they weren't seeing us before, So I thought to myself, this is exciting. I want to see if I can do this. I want to see if I can change people's minds. I want to see if I can change culture or create a new one, So for me, this was really exciting. It wasn't necessarily an obstacle as it was a challenge. And it was a challenge that I thought I could make into my own opportunity. So yeah, I was excited about doing it. It wasn't something that made me feel discouraged or whatever. I was really excited. And every time I'd break a barrier, I would celebrate, because I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did it. I can't believe that the marketing knowledge that I know actually works, because you have to keep practicing what you preach. You have to keep testing your knowledge and going, I know I tell people to do this. I know I tell my clients to do this, but that's really work, And when you test it on yourself, I think that's the greatest vulnerability that you could ever share with the world and with yourself, like being vulnerable enough to test your own principles, methods, theories on yourself and seeing if they really do work or if you're just talking because you read it in a textbook. You know, a lot of people who follow me know that I'm not the biggest advocate for people who've just gone to varsity and then they go to work. I believe that experience really is the key to becoming successful at anything that you do. So please, go to school, read the books, but make sure you can implement what you're reading and what you're learning. Otherwise, you don't have value, you don't have use in spaces that matter. So if you want to have value, challenge your obstacles, challenge the things that you feel like are barriers in your life and make them into opportunities by practicing what you preach.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I think that then leads me straight nicely into my next question to say, you're in a space where you're working with SMEs, you are in digital marketing. Lebel, you need to tell us, like, what are some of those low-hanging fruits that we can start to now pick to be like, okay, this is what I need to be doing in terms of my marketing strategy as a small business. I think a lot of us, don't really struggle with starting. I stand to be corrected. I don't think that the big barrier or the big challenges with starting, it's once I've started, what do I then do to accelerate or to make better what I'm doing? So what are some of those opportunities in marketing and in the digital marketing space that us as SMEs can start to grab and do in our business?
I think you've asked a really crucial question, but that could also be answered in 5 hours because there's so much to it. So I'm going to try my best to pick the most important parts, and then people can go on your platform, my platform, wherever they find knowledge and just extend or elaborate on those things on those platforms. But, when I started the Lebel Lyon brand and being the voice of marketing through my podcast, what I was trying to do was to get people to understand that marketing is at the core of a successful business. I know a lot of people think that marketing is advertising, or they think that marketing is public relations, but those things literally have different words. So why would you think it is marketing when it is not called marketing, And I wanted to demystify what people thought marketing was and literally give them the truth. What is marketing and how do I use it? When should I use it in my organization? Who should I ask to work with me to make this marketing thing work, And before I can even talk about the tools that you need, I have to share my definition of what marketing is, because my definition isn't very, what's the word? It's been a very long week. It's not a conventional definition, but it is a definition that I think encompasses what we truly do, because there are lots of marketers out there, but all of us specialize in different things. And I think too many people box us in and say, you're a marketer, you do the same thing as Gina, you do the same thing as whoever, like we all do the same thing. And it's like, no, we don't. Some of us are growth strategists. Some of us are just digital marketers. Some of us are content creators. Some of us are many things, strategists. So there's so much to the ecosystem. And I think people don't understand. And that's why they don't use it well. But my plain and simple definition of marketing is the process of adding value for the end user and other stakeholders involved. And for a lot of people, that will be broad, and it's supposed to be broad, because they need to understand that marketing plays a role in almost like the entire value chain of the company. The most successful businesses are the ones that start with marketing. So from the day that you have the idea and you want to make it real, you start incorporating marketing from that. Because with the 4 Ps, the marketing mix, and it's been extended to the 7 Ps, but the 4 Ps, price, place, promotion, and product. Those are the 4 main Ps. You talk about things like product. When you think of the facet of product, you're thinking of the design of the product. How should the product look for the end user? What will be the most successful way to create a product that people want to use? How do we make it look different through the product? What colors should we use? What materials should we use? That's all marketing, right? And there can be somebody who just specializes in that, and they could help you with that part of your business. But then you can get somebody else who's specializing in the promotional part of marketing, and that person will help you literally communicate the value of your product to your customers, and they'll help you come up with strategies that allow you to do that, right? So you have to understand that the process of marketing literally happens in the entire value chain of you creating something of value for the market, from the beginning, from ideation all the way to selling, all the way to the product coming back, the reviews, unsatisfied customers, the entire process literally can be guided by marketing if you do it well and you understand what it is. And not all marketers can do the entire thing. Some can only do parts of it, and that's okay. So I think for me, when I think about the SMME landscape, I think about how, guys, testing whether your product or service is commercially viable is very important. A lot of us cry that we've started businesses and we've had them for 3 years and we took out, all of our savings, but the thing is not working. It's not working because you never tested it. You never checked if it was commercially viable. So that's the first thing that I think people need to invest in, checking in the commercial viability of their product. And how do you do that? You test it. So maybe you can get a sample and you literally test it on a small group of people or whatever the case may be, and you try to understand, will this thing work? And if you've got a service, for example, because I know a lot of people say, oh, but I've got a service, not a product, so it's different. Yeah, it's different, but a service is actually even better because you can spend less money offering that service. So you can actually just go to people and say, I'd like to offer you my service for free, and I'd like your feedback in return, because I want to create this business. I want to know if it can help you, so I think a lot of people want to start businesses too soon and start them in a way that like a big business would start, as if they have a lot of funding, a lot of backing, a lot of stakeholders, when they don't. So if you don't, you have to start very small. And testing the commercial viability of a product is probably the most life-saving, financial saving thing you could do for yourself as an African entrepreneur. Don't be afraid. If your idea is not great, it's fine. Go back to the drawing board and do something else. Or go back to the drawing board and go, okay, I got this feedback. Maybe I can implement these, these certain things, and then it will improve my product, and maybe then it will be ready for market. So it's very important to make sure that before you invest all of your time in, getting offices, getting 100 units of stock and all of that, getting logos, blah, 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 that you're actually investing in checking the commercial viability of your product. And that will go to everything. So from your logo to the actual packaging, to the name, to everything, you have to test the commercial viability of your product. And then I think another thing that I'm seeing, and I'm skipping a lot of steps here, but I think another thing that I see that small businesses do in South Africa and in Africa, because I've also mentored and I've done a lot of business with, businesses in Nigeria, businesses in Angola, businesses around the continent. And I've worked with certain companies that have also taken me to different parts of the continent to help SMMEs. And what I've seen is that a lot of African entrepreneurs undermine promoting their businesses and communicating the value of their business. And because they undermine it, they rely heavily on public relations to communicate the value of their product, thinking that, oh, but if I've done this product and I just go and get a magazine profile or a TV interview or a radio interview, I'm going to get sales. And it's like, no, that's the biggest misconception. Public relations is a support function. It allows you to amplify the good work that you're already doing. It allows you to showcase the great product that you might already be offering. But there is no value in your public relations if you don't have a customer base that's supporting your current product. And I don't know if that makes sense to a lot of people. And I can break it down even further, but it's just, there's no time for that. So basically what I'm saying is the process of marketing is different to public relations, because as we are value adders, as we are the people who know how to add value to your product or service until it gets to market, we also know how to teach you to communicate that value. And part of the value of your product or service is actually in your customers or your prospective customers. So what do? You get some people who are digital marketers, and all they do is help you build communities online. And what are those communities? Those are the things that the people who buy or might buy your product or service. Why are they important? Because when people look at the value of your company or your product, they're actually saying, how many people are buying? They're not looking at how pretty is your product, is it saving the rainforest? Most people won't care. Most investors don't care. What they really care about is the bottom line, and the bottom line is made of sales. Who buys your product is people. So the customers are what matter. The value of your product is all in the people. It's not in all the other stuff. It's not in, I'm going to help kids who walk to school. It's fine. You can help whoever you want to help. But is it meeting the bottom line? Is it going to be profitable for you to help? You know what I mean? And so before entrepreneurs invest in public relations, which is literally amplifying your product or service on traditional media or digital media, Invest in community building, invest in the things that allow you to have customers who are satisfied, customers who engage in your product or service, customers who understand your mission, who understand the culture of what you're trying to build with your product or service. And I know a lot of people who are watching this will say, but this is sounding so complicated. Like, all I want to do is sell, why does it have to be so complicated? And the reason why it has to be complicated is because there has never been a noisier time than now. And when I say noise, I mean adverts. I mean, people who are selling. There's so much competition and noise online. How do you break through that?
Give us some of those tips. How do we then break through the noise? How do you
break through the noise? Yes, and that's a great question. Like, how do you break through the noise? Because the noise is what stops people from seeing what you're offering. The noise is what makes people undermine you and think, oh, but she's only got 20 followers, so she can't really be good at that. I'm going to go to the person with 100,000 followers. You know what I mean? So you need to break through the noise. How do you break through the noise? It's a complicated but a simple process. You have to communicate value. And that's why you need marketing in your process. How do you communicate value? Through content marketing, through video marketing, through, all the kinds of things all the touch points that allow you to engage with people. Because once you form a relationship with somebody, they come looking for you. You're no longer looking for them. And breaking through the noise is when you're looking for people. But once you have a real relationship with your customers and you have a community, now they look for you, and you want that. Because once they look for you, you can start doing the work of actually saying, oh, this is the product we're selling, guys. Let's test it out. But really, breaking through the noise is a process of searching for prospective customers and trying to build a community and relationship building. Once you have the relationships and people are coming to you, once they log on and they say, I'm going to go to Lebel Lyon's account because every morning I know she posts XYZ, or I'm going to go to XYZ fruit and veg because I know that they have deals every morning. Once they're looking for you, then you really got people's attention. And I don't know how many people spend time online listening to content, but attention is currency. It's the currency of 2021, of the digital age, of the tech age. Attention is the currency. Why? It boils down to what I was talking about when I said the value of your business or your product or your service is the people. It's not the product or the service. So who gives you attention? It's the people, right? So the currency is the people. Once you can mine attention, and by mining is creating the relationships, creating the community, getting people to come and find you. Once you can mine the attention, you've got something really powerful, because once people give you their attention and they pay you with their attention, they're saying, okay, show me more. Sell to me, show me what more you have to offer. And that's what you want as a person who's selling a product or service. Because once somebody does that, they'll be open to the sales pitch. They'll be open to learning more about your product or service. They'll be open to buying from you. And that's what you want. You want people to be open. You want their attention. And that's not an easy thing to do. If you're not somebody who's well-versed at doing that, I implore you to put money away and get somebody who can help you do that. A publicist, a PR person cannot help you do that. That's not their job. They're reputation management. They're not community builders. So there's a difference. The PR for me is the cherry on top. Once everything else is done, go find a PR person, then they can, showcase you to the world. And you can actually reap from that attention that you get from the media, because your business is solid and you have a community. Because another thing that entrepreneurs don't understand is, let's say I try to invest in public relations and I haven't really invested much in marketing, but I've got a product or a service. Then I get really good PR. So this person puts me on, CNBC or whatever the case may be. And a lot of people actually come and look for me, but they see my page only has 20 followers, or they see that I've only got one picture of the product, or, like weird little things, or my website is down, or they try to click on things, but things aren't working. Then they completely disregard you. They go, okay, this is not a credible business. I'm not going to invest my attention in it. And they walk away. And the problem with PR is you can't measure how many people came to your platforms from the TV interview or the magazine interview. But when you invest in digital marketing, so these are all the activities that help you to build your digital assets, your social media, your SEO, all of those things. When you invest in that, the reason why so many people are saying digital marketing, online, is because it's one of the only platforms where you can reliably track customer sentiment, customer needs, everything. You can track everything about your customers. And that's important. To have all of that intel about your customer means that you've got all of the information that you need to create what they want and to sell it to them the way that they want. Customer data is the gold, it's the diamond. You want that. If you've got customer data, you can do anything. So you want to invest in the processes in your business that allow you to get customer data and mine customer data before anything else. That customer data can triple your sales more than one television interview can. And I think that's what people don't understand about digital marketing. It's not just superficial social media. Oh, this is silly. No. It's only silly if you don't know how to use it. But if you know how to use it, you understand that this is a customer data acquisition tool. This is a relationship building tool, community building tool. This is a narrative building tool. I can actually decide what I say about myself and what people say about me. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. The power is in your hands. And once you realize that, you won't play with it. You won't say, oh, I was so tired, so I couldn't post. Oh, our social media pages aren't really working. I've had entrepreneurs say that to me. I'll go to a market, for example, and I love the product. And I'm the kind of person, my phone is like literally stuck to my hand. Then I'll say, I really love your product. Actually, I'd love to repost it on my page. When I go on their Instagram, there's nothing. Or I go on their Facebook, there are 2 posts. And I'll say, but I can't share your thing. Like, there's nothing on your pages. They'll say, I've been working so hard on my business. I just haven't had time for that stuff. Sometimes I want to do it before I go to bed, but I get tired. And it's like, oh my gosh, you're tired of making money? Literally. How are you tired of making money? It doesn't make any sense to me. I think if I had to just summarize it, because we spoke about a lot of things, it's invest in the tools that help you to understand your customers, and that will largely be digital marketing. It's the cheapest source of customer listening that you can get online, especially if you're an SME. It's the cheapest source you can get. Instagram, Facebook, all of those tools are free. Unlike other programs that you'd have to pay thousands of rands for. You've got social media. They've already got all the tools, the insights. You just click a few buttons and you've got all that information. So invest in digital marketing. Invest in the tools that help you to understand customers. Build relationships so that you can form a community with people. You want a community. That's how you're selling online these days. You cannot break through the noise if there is no relationship. People will not give you their attention. Form a relationship, because attention is the currency. And then the third one is understand that the value of your business is rooted in your customers and not in your product or service, and even in your mission, because all investors care about is the bottom line, which is sales and profits. How do you get them? Through people. So if you don't have customers who are buying your product and keeping your business alive, then your business has no value. And the fourth one is understand that marketing is the process of adding value to your business from the beginning all the way to the end user and for stakeholders and back when you get customer feedback, etc., etc. So when you can, and if you have, the foresight and the luxury to start with the marketer in your business before you get a finance person, before you get an HR, start with the marketer in your business, because once you've built value in your business, then you can go get an accountant to actually check the money that you're making. Because what's the point of getting an accountant if you don't have money coming in? Like, what's the point? There's no money. So what are you doing? Those are my top 4. Those are my top 4.
I really feel like there's so many layers and things that I would have loved to get into today. If you don't mind, maybe we can actually just schedule some time just to have like another conversation, maybe on live Instagram, something. But I really just want to dive into some points, because you touched on a lot of points that I also come across when I'm dealing with small business. There's always this communication. There's a lot, basically what I'm saying. There's a lot to learn from you.
Yes.
And so before I ask you your last question, right?
Is it my last question already?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
The time is just like running, right?
Yeah.
Just tell us where we can find you, where you're hanging out, what are you up to? What are you up to? What are we doing? Where can we follow you on your journey?
Listen, for me, if you're not online, then do you even exist? So I have to take my own advice as well. And you can literally find me almost everywhere online. Literally. I'm on TikTok, I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere where you are, I am there online at Lebel Lyon, Lion, like the animal _SA. Lebel, Lion_SA. And sorry, I also wanted to just make a bit of a tweak in your introduction. You said I transformed over 80 SMEs. And I think that's from an article that was published a couple of years ago. But we've grown. So the number has grown since. And we're at 1,000 now. So we're really proud. Me and my team are really proud of ourselves. And, you know, we're just happy to be able to uplift African SMEs in the right way, because we are the ones who can change our economy. We are the ones who can change the narrative about our continent. So the number has gone up. Yeah.
The number has gone up. That is absolutely amazing. Lebu, I want to thank you for joining us again for today's live. But the last question I have for you is, what is the impact that you are trying to have in the digital marketing space?
You know, I think for me, and this is a question that I always find tricky because I want to answer it in different ways. Every day, I want to tweak the answer, but then add something or take something away. But I think for me, at the core of it, it's about the value of knowledge. You know, I think that people undermine what having knowledge can do for you. So a lot of us think, okay, money is the thing. If I can make money, I'm a valuable person. Or, you know, if I've got famous friends and I'm great. But it's like, no, guys, actually that information and knowledge are what make you a valuable individual, because it means that you can go into any space that you want to in the world and add value, that you can be valuable. You know, I know a lot of people, because I get a lot of emails and, you know, messages from younger people who say, you know, I want to be famous. How do I make myself famous? I want to be important. How do I make myself important? And it's a peculiar question to me, but I understand because we're living in that kind of era. And I say to them, you know, guys, I've been around the world. And when I was in those spaces, in very important rooms that I don't even talk about, because it's just, for me, it's not necessary. It is whatever it is. But I've been around the world and I've been going since I was 24. Sometimes I paid myself, sometimes the companies paid for me. But the point that I'm making is they called me up and they liked what I was about. Before I was even, they were lying because I had knowledge. And they were like, we're not meeting enough African people who actually have knowledge that we want to plug into. Oh no. So that's, for me, knowledge is it. Have knowledge, know how to use it, and you can be valuable in any room. That's the legacy that I want to leave behind in the digital marketing space, that it is a knowledge-driven space, and it's all about the value of the knowledge that we have and how we use it. I see that Dina has left the live, so I'm assuming that's because she has technical difficulties. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. The Small Business Runway is an amazing platform, and I hope a lot of you get to check it out and really listen to the gems that Dina shares all the time and the interviews that she has. I've listened, and if I was an SMME owner, if I was starting my own business, I would definitely be plugging myself into her chats all the time, because they're really, really valuable. And yeah, you can find me on every single social media platform at Lebel Lyon _SA, LEBOLION_SA. Yeah, I'm hoping that Tina's gonna come back soon. But yeah, thank you so much. And I'll see you on the social media streets.